ICS3U. This lesson is on a continuation of while loops. We had a while loop lesson a few lessons ago, and now we're going to see some more in Visual Studio Code. And let me make a new project called while10.py. While10.py. This program is going to loop 10 times around, and this is just meant as a review of while loops for now. And then the next program that I do right after this will be something that's a bit different than what we've seen. Still using a while loop, but you know what? You're starting to see things that you've already learned, and this is how we solidify our knowledge here. So while 10, here's my statement to say what the program does. The program loops 10 times and shows numbers 0 through 9. This is a review. I think you've written this program before, but I'm just going to do it. Just as a review, while loops are used to perform the same block of code repeatedly. Okay, because you only learned this a few days ago, doesn't hurt to hear it again. Usually the programmer knows how many times they want the loop to repeat, or they have to know under which conditions they want the loop to stop. And that's important. So let's write this program. I would recommend at this point, if you've already done while loops, pause the program, try to write this program on your own, test it out, and then compare my solution to yours. So go ahead and pause the program, and we're back. So here I go with writing it. So I'm gonna create a counter, set it to 0, while count is less than or equal to 9, because we want it to continue to loop as long as it's less than or equal to 9, because we're going to be counting up starting at 0, and we're going to print count because we want to show all those numbers, and then finally count the increment rule, count equals count plus 1. So this program should print all the numbers, and it's what's going on. Yeah, there we go, 0 through 9. That was just a short little program as a review, and now we're going to do what I really wanted to do here. Let's call this program whilestrings.py. Okay, so whilestrings.py. So here's a program. This program keeps telling which string comes first in the dictionary until the user types -1. Okay, so this program is going to ask the user for 2 animal names, and maybe they'll enter aardvark and zebra. So which comes first in the dictionary? Aardvark comes first. So we want the program to correctly identify aardvark comes first. And then the user could type in dog and cat, and unfortunately cats win this time. So cats, I'm a dog lover, but yeah, cat comes first in the dictionary. That's what the program should say. And then they're going to type in -1, and then it's going to say goodbye. So let's write that program.
Francis, please call extension 1001.
And we don't know how to compare strings yet to see alphabetical or dictionary ordering. It's called lexicographic ordering. So I'm going to lexicographical ordering. You can look that up. It just means dictionary ordering, dictionary order. Okay, so the rule is if there's a word that starts with it, if 2 words that start with the letter A, aardvark and antelope, aardvark comes first because there's AA. Aardvark has 2 A's at the beginning of the word, and because if the first letter is the same, it goes to the second letter and compares those. But we can use the less than and greater than signs, and Python does it automatically for us. So there's not much to learn here, just to know that. So let's say animal1 equals input, and we're working with strings, so we don't have to put int around it. Enter an animal name. I'm going to put a colon and a space so it looks nice, and then animal2 equals, remember, user friendliness and the interface is a really important thing. You want the user to be comfortable using your program. You want them to know, have a pretty good idea of what you're expecting them to type out. Enter another animal name. And we're going to say, and this is the magic line that does most things, and once you see this, you'll kind of get it, I think. That's my input phase. Now I'm going to do my processing phase. So if animal1 animal 1, is less than animal 2. Okay, so that, and then colon. That just means, so less than, you can imagine, it means it comes before animal 2 in the dictionary. So then we're just going to put print animal 1, comma, comes first. Okay, and then we'll have an else if statement. So when I press enter at the end of this print statement line, it still tabs in if I want to have another line inside of my if statement, but I want to backspace so I can do my elif. E-L-I-F. Animal 2 is less than, no, yeah, if animal 2 is less than animal 1, then, you know, you could have also used the greater than sign. You could have said if animal 1 is greater than animal 2, it's equivalent. Don't worry about that. And then we're going to say print animal 2 comes first. And then there's one other situation. If this was a live class, I'd ask someone to answer. If it's not less than, if it's not greater than, it must be equal, right? So then it's going to be else. And in that case, if it's an else, we know that they're the same. Print, they are the same animal. And that's it. So, and what else do we have in this program? That's it. The basic program. We are going to add something to it in a moment. Let's try it out. I just want to make sure that I have no errors. Enter an animal name. Sloth and zebra. And the sloth comes first. And if they're the same, ape and ape, it's the same. Okay, so we want to add a while loop. I want to add a while loop because it says in the instructions, keep looping until the user enters -1. It doesn't say keep looping, but it says keep asking. Does it? It's keep telling the user which string comes first. So we want to let the user use this program on a repeated basis until they're done with it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a kid learning how to read. So we're going to want a while loop. Inside of the while loop, we want to still ask for each animal inside of the while loop. Every time that it loops around, we want to get 2 different animal names. So it's important to have the while loop above here. Then we're going to run to a problem, and then we'll solve it later, but we're going to say while animal 1 does not equal to, and in quotes, -1. A lot of you might be saying, why didn't we do an integer? And the reason why is animal 1 is a string. Animal 1 is a string. And remember what I said earlier? -1 is a perfectly acceptable string. It's just you can't do any math on it. But that's okay, we're not doing any math on it. This is the not equal to operator. It's just saying if that string animal 1 is not equal to, in quotes, -1, then we're okay to keep doing the program. So colon, press enter, and uh-oh, everything should be tabbed in. So we're going to, and I'm just looking through this. We want the whole program to be tabbed in. Don't just do this blindly though, please. At this point in the game, when you're starting to learn, take a look and see if it makes sense to you to put everything into the while loop. Pause the program and see if it makes sense. Because later on in the course, I find that what happens is there are some students, they're not sure what to put inside of the tab and what not to put inside the tab. So start to try to differentiate that now while the programs are simpler, because this is a more simple program. And you can pause the video if you want. And now I'm going to explain why. We want everything, line 9 till the very end, inside of the tab. Because line 9 and 10 get the value. The rest of the program can be summarized as just comparing to see which one comes first, and then reporting back to the user. We want to do all of that inside of our loop, every time that they use the program. So I'm going to highlight everything. If you're wondering how I did that on the keyboard, I went to the beginning of line 9, held down the shift key, and just used the cursor down. And that's another way if you don't want to use your trackpad or mouse. Now that everything's highlighted from line 9 down, press tab. And then you're going to want to just, if you move your cursor, everything gets unhighlighted. And if you run it, you'll get an error. Let's see what that error is. It says animal 1 is not defined. We're trying to compare animal 1 to see if it's not equal to -1 and it doesn't exist. Similar to the last program we did in our while loops what was it, our if statements lesson. Remember the if statements lesson, the last example had a while loop in it, and we had to do a similar thing. The variable was not defined while we were trying to compare it in the while loop. So we have to give it a value. And this is just an initial value just to ensure that it goes inside of the while loop. I'm just going to take a break for a moment. I noticed lines 9 and 10 have nothing on them. Python will ignore those lines. But it's probably a good idea to clean it up. Get rid of those empty lines, maybe. I don't know. It might just make things easier. Okay? As long as you've got this line going all the way down, the while loop continues all the way to line 17. An unbroken line, then you're fine. Okay, so back to line 6. Nothing there right now. I'm going to say animal1 equals, and then I'm just going to put an empty set of quotes. So it's saying make animal1 into a string, but store nothing in it. But it's still a string, it's just empty. This way the while loop won't complain inside of the condition. So when we run it, enter an animal name, zebra, I don't know any other Z animals, giraffe. I'm thinking of zoo animals for some reason. Giraffe comes first. There's a lot in this lesson. If you need to go back and watch it again, please do. If you missed something that I said, that's going to be detrimental later on. There's certain things about while loops, there's certain nuances, there's certain things that are very important, and make sure you don't miss anything in the lesson, and feel free to rewatch parts of it if you did, because those things will all come back and be important later on. You're going to find that the way my teaching style is, I try to leave out things that aren't, I say things that are important and are going to be important later on. So you'll find that about me. And I don't tend to repeat things either. So pre-recorded lessons are a good thing also for that reason, where you can go back and repeat it. Of course, if you have any questions, it's not a problem. I'm perfectly happy explaining things 100 more times until we get them, because learning how to program, it's like learning a language. You need to repeat. You need to have repetition, just like when you're in French class. If you take French and you're learning a new language, you have to repeat conjugating all the verbs, all that stuff. You have to. If you're learning how to ride a bike, you have to have repetition. Learning a martial art or something, lots of repetition for sure. Same thing with programming. So don't be afraid to repeat things and go over things again. It doesn't mean that you're not smart or anything. It just means that your brain needs another go at it to get it to solidify. Okay, that's it for now.